Pa just will not listen to reason about this.
Asa tends to go temporarily deaf when anybody's disagreed with him.
Well, I couldn't just sit back, watch him buy Alex a political appointment like this, and not say anything.
And you haven't. Darling, the Banner made a perfectly clear stand on this.
Uh-huh. And as far as Pa is concerned, I stabbed him right in the back.
Oh, come on, Clint. You've gone up against Asa before on matters of principle. He always takes it personally. That's Asa. Relax. This, too, shall pass.
Yeah, don't bet on it. We're probably going to keep butting heads as long as Alex sticks to this new career of hers.
Have you seen this?
Of course I've seen it. I'm the editor.
How can you print this libel?
Libel? That article just tells it like it is, Alex.
Well, then this only means one thing, Clint. This means war. Kelly? Kelly, you're supposed to be in school in 20 minutes. Kelly, listen, I know that I was pretty upset with you last night, and I'm sure you're still very angry with me, but come on, you can't avoid me forever, so you might as well open the door so we can talk. Great, I'm not going to stand out here and talk to a door all morning. Oh, my God. Oh, thank God I'm home. Yes, I feel like Dorothy, waking up in Kansas. I never thought I'd see this place again. Oh.
You haven't said anything about the hotel last night. Wasn't it comfortable?
Not as comfortable as this is going to be. This is heaven. This is home.
Well, believe me, it wasn't very easy getting all your things out of Landfair this morning to bring them here.
Forgive me. I'm having a lot of trouble working up enthusiasm for everything that you've done for me, since you kept me prisoner for weeks.
You're free now.
And that makes everything all right? No. Never mind. I am going to do something that I have been dreaming of for weeks.
Perhaps you had better tell me what that is.
You're a bit of a control freak. You know that, Jean? But fine. Fine. I am going to take a nice, hot, long bath. Yes, maybe for hours. It'll make me feel like my old self again.
No, you're not, Dorian. You're going to take a very quick shower. That will be much better.
There's that control thing again.
We have a deal, Dorian. And you have a great deal of work to do. David Vickers?
You got close. To the girl, to the money. And then you blew the whole ball game. Hit the showers, Vickers. I'm not here.
Open up, David. Come on. Now.
I'd say good morning, but I'd be lying. How did you know I was here?
Well, the maid at Landfair gave me your forwarding address. I got to admit, though, I'm surprised that you're hanging around.
I have some business that I need to finish up. You have a problem with that?
No, not at all. No, I'm glad you're still in town. I've got some questions for you.
Oh, well, I'm not interested. Vicky dropped the fraud charges, which means you don't have a case against me, which means you don't get to have a conversation with me. So, if you'll excuse me.
No, David, no way. Vicky may not be pressing charges, but I'm not through with you yet. Not by a long shot. You see, I have this little problem, David, and I thought maybe you could help me out with it. It involves Dorian Lord.
God! How many times do I have to tell you people? I don't know anything about Dorian.
Okay, well, later we'll talk about what you do or do not know, but right now let me tell you what I know about Dorian Lord. Number one, before she skipped town, she admitted to Vicky that she killed Victor Lord. And number two, the last time anybody heard from Dorian was when she called Cassie about 2 weeks ago.
Gosh, you know, this is extraordinarily fascinating to me, but you know what you're doing? You're assuming that Dorian and I are involved.
No assumptions. Let's just talk about facts, shall we? No sooner did everybody find out that you were an imposter, all of a sudden, you and Dorian, you both disappeared. And then we traced Dorian. She turned up in Spain, and that just happened to be exactly where you were hiding out yourself. So, now, the only 2 times that anybody's heard from Dorian since she's been gone, there was a letter to Joey, and then this call that she made to Cassie. Both times, she said that she was away happily with her lover, David Vickers.
Look, I don't know why Dorian keeps telling everybody that we're lovers, okay? Because we're not. And whatever Dorian has gotten herself into this time, she has done it without me. I've got nothing to do with it.
That's where you're wrong. David, you are right smack dab in the middle of all of this, and you have been since you pretended to be Victor Lord's son and you waltzed into Landview with the evidence that overturned Dorian's conviction.
Vicky has dropped the fraud charges.
I know, but see, here's a problem. Us cops, we hate an unsolved murder. So we just might have to reopen that homicide case and take a fresh look at the evidence that freed Dorian. And also take a fresh look at the crook that supplied that evidence. My suggestion to you right now, David, is to get smart. And I mean fast. And you tell me everything you know about Dorian Lord.
I have not forgotten my business with David.
Then I would suggest you get on with it.
I've been gone for weeks. Would it be all right if I enjoyed my home, savored my freedom?
You can do that later, Dorian. Right now you have very practical matters to attend to.
For crying out loud! I have to deal with David. I have to turn myself into the police. Maybe get put in jail again. Before I trade one prison in for another, can I at least enjoy my freedom, the beauty of my home?
You may not. You have one priority right now, and that is David Vickers. Now, Victoria's maid gave me his forwarding address at some motel downtown. I would suggest you go and see him as soon as you have showered.
You're a royal pain, Jean. I hope you know that.
You have to settle things with David before you make your statement to the police. You have to get your story straight so that you don't contradict each other and ruin everything. Later on, when the police or Hank Gannon contact Victoria, I will simply retract the statement that I made regarding your confession about Victor Lord's murder.
Just like that? You'll just take it back?
Yes. I shall simply say the concussion affected my judgment.
And what about Irene's diary? What if they send it to
Dorian,
new
I
experts?
told you. Don't worry about that. It's going to disappear. I will see to that. Without it, no one can possibly prove that the evidence that cleared you was a forgery.
Except David.
That is why you are going to marry him, Dorian. And as soon as possible, before the district attorney gets to him. You don't want David to testify against you, do you? If he is your husband, no one can make him do that.
You make it sound so easy.
I have no doubt that you can make it happen.
You keep saying that. But how do you think I'm going to make it happen? How? How can I possibly get a man who hates me to marry me? I hate him. He knows that. He also knows that I've been going around telling people that we're lovers. I mean, how am I going to explain that to him, along with everything else?
You'll think of a way. You always do. But however you do it, Dorian, you are not to breathe one word to David or anyone else about me or any of Victoria's altars. Understood?
I already promised that.
Stick to it. I'm sure I don't need to remind you what the consequences would be should you decide to break that promise.
No. I've already suffered your consequences.
Remember, nothing is more important to me than protecting Victoria.
Seems strange to say this, but I almost admire you.
I don't want your admiration, just your cooperation.
You have it. No one will ever know that Jean Randolph exists.
Somebody's here. I don't care how you feel about me, but how can you write such outrageous and vicious lies about your own father? It's unforgivable.
There's not a lie in that article. And trust me, Alex, Paul will get through it. He'll survive. Look, if anyone else had bought their wife's way into the mayor's office, I'd report it. I can't ignore it just because Asa happens to be my father.
You know, Alex, I think you're looking at this all wrong. You know, they say there's no such thing as bad publicity. You should thank Clint for getting your name in the paper.
I don't care if my name is in the paper or not, but I have every intention of carrying out this important mission to do something good. And I do not have much tolerance for those who try to stand in my way. Now, I'm off to meet the mayor right now. We will be putting my plans into effect. We're taking the first steps to move Landview into the 21st century.
I don't suppose you'd want to share with us just what these first steps are, would you?
And have you twisted all around in your little paper? No, thank you. You can wait for it like everybody else. Suffice it to say that my initial contribution will be in culture and the arts. But since I won't be stopping there, thankfully, no doubt Landview will never be the same.
Oh, my God, it seems she may be right. Nothing ever will be the same.
I just wonder what those first steps are.
You have no proof at all. You are accusing me.
This has got to stop right now. I have tried to be understanding with you, and all you do is take advantage. Now, it has got to stop.
See, let me handle this, okay? Well, what we're asking from you is honesty. We need to know where you've been and where you're going.
It has got to stop right now, or we're going to make other arrangements. Is that understood? I will not have a liar in my house.
So what are you saying? Are you kicking me out?
She could have broken her neck. Don't know where she could have gone. She doesn't know anybody in town.
Well, odds are she spent the night in some bar. Just pray to God she didn't go home with a stranger.
Brother.
Obviously, Andrew, she's getting back at us for reading her the riot act last night. But, Andrew, we had a right to be upset. Nothing we said warranted her running away from us. What's wrong with her? We give her a family. We give her a home. We give her food, and she hates us.
Listen, don't let it get to you. She is a teenager. She's testing us.
Well, I'm trying not. But, Andrew, you're still dealing with losing Sloan, and I'm worried to death over my mother. And the last thing we need is to deal with a rebellious 17-year-old.
She is going to be sneaking back here any minute. She left all her stuff here.
I hope so, because I can't stand not knowing where she is or what kind of trouble she's gotten herself into.
Everything's still in place, as if I'd never been away. Oh, wait. Where's my purse? Thank you. My. How much of this did you go through?
I had substantial expenses and no resources. I had no choice.
What can I say? When you've been thrown down a flight of stairs, knocked unconscious, chained in a root cellar, and thrown into a cage, what's a few $1,000s? Would you do me a favor? Please leave. I am going to take a quick shower, and I will go see David just as soon as possible.
Fine. I'm going out the other way. I don't want anyone to see me with you.
I don't care how you leave, as long as you go.
Dorian, I will be in touch. Please remember that the next time you see me, you must call me Victoria or Vicky. And if you are as clever as I think you are, the next time I see you, I will call you Mrs. Vickers.
Who's been sleeping in my bed? Joe? No, of course not. Couldn't be Joe. Joe's gone. What's the sense of coming home if Joe isn't here to come home to? Okay. Don't give up. Something sophisticated, smart, and irresistible. Yes. Has to be irresistible, or else I am in trouble.
Is it a truce between bitter enemies?
You think you're so irresistible, you and your Alden money?
Or time for a deadly payback?
I don't feel well.
You know, I don't feel so well either, so you'll forgive me if I don't stick around for your little act.
All the drama and half the time loving. She never thought she'd lose.
I may be down, but I am not out.
Still, nothing can stop her.
Anybody that comes between me and Amanda deserves to die.
It's a test of a mother's love.
Trevor is never going to let you take Amanda without a fight.
Not if I kill him first.
All My Children, only on ABC Daytime.
To the chief liaison, may her reign be successful. Prosperous.
Yes, and may she never make the mayor regret this appointment.
Oh, thank you, Liz. You won't. I promise to be the best chief this city's ever seen.
Yes, I'm sure you're going to have just lots of creative ideas.
I already do, as a matter of fact. One that promises to be a source of income and prestige for the city. This portfolio contains a proposal that will forever change the face of Landview.
Alex, dear, this is supposed to be a social breakfast to celebrate your new position.
Well, I like to earn my right to celebrate, Norma. Consider this the beginning of my contribution.
I think we're about to hear a presentation, whether we want to or not.
This proposal is for the grandest, newest, and most advanced cultural center in the United States. Oh. It includes an opera house, 2 theaters, a dance and recital center, and a symphony hall. It will be called the Alexandra Olenoff Buchanan Center for the Performing Arts.
This is huge! Alex, just how do you propose we go about paying for this center?
Well, I've already figured all that out, too. I've investigated similar centers around the country and have looked into the tax breaks and fundamental grants that we would be eligible for. Also, here is a list of potential donors, at least 100 names of which work with my husband. I can practically guarantee that they will come through for Asa.
Well, I have to admit that it looks like you have figured out all the angles.
Oh, Liz, this is a sure thing. As they say, if we build it, they will come. In droves.
Yes, perhaps so. Perhaps so. But just tell me, where do you propose to build this extraordinary structure?
Oh, I have the perfect place to build it. Well, almost perfect.
What do you mean, almost? What's the problem?
Oh, nothing much. I just have to iron out a few little things and... Oh, please. I am not known for letting little piddly details keep me from getting what I want.
All right.
Kelly.
Cassie, I didn't know you were here.
Where have you been all night?
I can totally explain.
Oh, I'd love to hear your explanation. And then I want to hear the truth.
Come on, David, you can figure this out. If you help me by telling me where your girlfriend Dorian is, then maybe I can help you. When the DA starts talking about charging you with obstruction of justice in the Victor Lord murder case.
Look, you know what? You're not listening to me. You don't get this. I can't make any kind of deal with you because I don't know where Dorian is. And just for the record, Dorian's not my girlfriend, okay? She's never been any kind of friend to me.
So I take it you're not going to tell me where she is.
Not only do I not know where she is, I don't care, okay? Now, if your inquisition is over, I'm going to take a shower.
Don't even think about leaving town. You are going to lead me to Dorian Lord, sooner or later.
Thank God. How many times do I have to tell you, Bo? I don't know where Dorian is.
Hello, David.
One Life to Live will continue in a moment here on ABC.
What are you doing here?
Well, actually...
No, just forget. Don't even... I didn't ask. Just leave. Leave.
I'm afraid that's impossible.
I don't think you understand, Dorian. Right now is not a very good time for chit-chat, okay? Do you know that the police are looking for you? They think that I'm hiding you. Bo Buchanan was just here. He was ready to arrest me if I didn't tell him where you were.
Yes, I know. I overheard him. Luckily, I recognized his voice, and I hid down the hall until he left.
Did he see you?
If he had seen me, would I be standing here chatting with you?
You're unbelievable. You know that? You really are. If you wanted to ruin my life, you did an excellent job. Now go.
David, I can explain everything.
Oh, yeah, Dorian, I'm sure you can.
And I promise you that what I am about to say is in your best interests. Care to hear it?
I think that Alex sees herself as the Margaret Thatcher of Landview. But then every family has to have a black sheep. You have Alex.
Well, the last thing his family needs is another headache. We've been through enough. And God knows Vicky has. First Sloan dying, then the David Vickers blow-up.
And now finding out that Todd Manning is her brother. How is she taking that news?
I'm not sure she even knows about it. Nobody's talked to her for days.
Vicky is still out of town on that one story?
Well, as far as I know. She's not usually out of touch for this long. You know, she didn't even call me on my birthday. Even when things have been god-awful between us, we've always called each other on her birthday.
That is odd. Must be some story she's hunting down.
You know that blackout she had? She never did really get around to explaining that to me.
Clint, Ben Price gave her a checkup at the hospital. He said she was all right. I know how worried you are about that. You know, when Vicky called me over so upset because she was worried that Nikki Smith might be back because of that blackout, I was sick to death with worry. I didn't sleep a wink that night.
And you're sleeping okay now?
Vicky came to me herself. She said that she remembered everything and that she was fine. And Ben Price said himself that he agreed that probably she had that blackout because of a slight concussion from that car accident. You really should stop worrying about that.
As usual, Renee is filled with good advice. There There's no reason to worry about Vicky at all.
How are you?
I'm fine, I'm fine. But you look as if you could use a bit of cheering up. Happy birthday, Clint.
Well, if you're stalling to make up a story, you can forget it. Just want the truth. Where were you last night?
Well, I'll tell you the truth, but you're not going to believe it.
Try me.
Okay, here it goes. Well, last night I was really bummed, right? Because I knew you and Andrew really didn't want me around.
No, Andrew and I were upset with you, but that doesn't mean we wanted you to leave.
Yeah, but that's how it sounded. So I tied my sheets together just like I used to at the convent school, and when I got outside, I realized I didn't have anywhere to go, but I remembered I still had a key to Dorian's. And I knew where the alarm code was written.
So you spent the night at Mother's house?
Well, yeah, I mean, she was away on a vacation, so, I mean, I figured it was no problem. But you will not believe what happened next.
What happened, Kelly?
All right. Well, this morning, I was lying in bed, asleep, on these really cool silk sheets. And all of a sudden, I woke up. I mean, at first, I really didn't know what was going on. I was so out of it, but then, once I realized where I was, I started to hear voices.
Voices at Mother's?
I know, I thought it was strange myself, but my God, my heart was beating a mile a minute. I mean, I thought I was gonna pass out or something, but let me tell you, I was not alone. I rushed and got my clothes on because I could hear them coming closer and closer. I could hear them coming right at me. I mean, I was so sure I was dead meat. But somehow, I managed to get into the other room, you know, and so no one would see me. And then I popped into another bedroom and hid, and so whoever they were, you know, they would pass. And finally, they got into another room, and I ran out, and I was fine. It was great.
Oh, well. Sounds a little unbelievable to me.
It's true.
Okay, then whose voices did you hear?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't recognize the voices. I couldn't even make out what they were saying, but I do know it was one woman, and she was talking to someone else.
Okay, well, then it could have been Blair, or it could have been Carlotta, who came to clean, and she brought someone with her.
Or it could have been Aunt Dorian. Right? I mean, it's possible. It's possible she's back in town and she's like hiding out at her house. I mean, why not?
Kelly, stop it. Just stop lying right now.
What did you all think about my wife's brainstorm?
Oh, well, an art center is a wonderful idea, Asa, in theory.
You have a problem, Elizabeth? Because I can fix any problem.
Liz is just concerned about where we're going to build a complex.
Now, Asa, you're knowledgeable about real estate.
I am knowledgeable about everything.
Yes, dear, we know. Good. Now, you can help me persuade your enthusiastic, if somewhat idealistic wife that real estate is very tight right now. Now, even if, Asa, if we could get the money and get the necessary variances to build her center, the size, Asa, of such a real estate development would make it impossible to look at.
Liz, I already told you. I know exactly where we're going to build it.
Then why not tell us where it's going to be?
Because like I also told you, I still have some minor snags to work out.
Minor snags can hold up a deal for years. Now, I admire your optimism, Alex. But after you have been in politics for a few months, you'll learn that the wheels of government turn very slowly. Now, I hate to break up the party, but I do have a meeting I have to attend. Excuse me, Virginia.
I have to
go as well.
Me too. Good luck with your project, Alex. It's a great idea anyway.
It's a great idea anyway. She makes it sound like it's some kind of a fantasy.
Sit down. You know, Liz does have a point. In business, you want something done, you go out and do it. In politics, there's red tape. The bureaucrats muck things up. Things take time.
Honey, I don't have time. I want to cause a renaissance, and I want to enjoy it while I'm young.
That's my Alex. Not gonna get little old government standing in the way.
Are you laughing at me, too?
Me never. I admire you spitting fire. I'm gonna do everything in my power to make your dream come true.
Really, Asa?
Yes, just tell me the land is where you want to build this thing and all these snags you're talking about.
two of us together. Oh, honey, we're just gonna be able to bulldoze our way right through there, and I'll have my art center before you know it. I've had enough, Kelly. I don't want to hear any more.
What did I do?
This song and dance about you staying at my mother's and hearing voices.
It's the truth, Cassie. I couldn't make up something like this if I tried.
Kelly, don't you realize I'm going crazy worrying about my mother? Or are you so self-absorbed that you don't realize how cruel it is to lie to me about something like that?
But I'm not lying!
Enough, enough. I don't want to hear anymore. You just go to school, would you please? But go to school! You've already missed enough classes.
Fine! But I did stay at Dorian's, and I did hear voices, and if you don't want to hear me, that is your problem!
Would you like to get dressed first?
Or would you like to turn around?
Of course. David, you're angry with me. And perhaps you're right.
Perhaps! You ratted on me to Vicky.
You ratted on me also. You told Vicky that it was my idea that you pretend to be her brother so that I could escape death row. So naturally, she comes to me and she accuses me of murdering her father. May I? And then Bo Buchanan. He shows up at my doorstep and threatens to reopen the case. David, please. The walls were closing in on me. I panicked. I ran. Surely you can understand that.
Dorian, I understood why you ran, okay? What I do not understand is why you would go around telling everybody that we're lovers.
Oh, I know. That must have confused you, but there was a good reason for it. I was setting up something.
Setting up something? You were setting up something. What do you mean?
I have a plan. A plan that will help me and you.
I've been looking for a copy of this for weeks.
Oh.
Thank you. I wasn't expecting a birthday present. Although I must admit I was a little surprised when I didn't at least get a phone call.
Ooh, boy, I'll tell you, it is late and I've got to get to work at the hotel. Thank you for a beautiful breakfast. And you, young lady, welcome home. Well, I wasn't gone all that long, was I? I think some people don't see it that way. Well, bye-bye. Bye. You didn't really need to worry about me all that much, you know. I was just out on a story. You knew that, and I've done that many times before.
Yes, but I've always known where you, well, had an idea of where you were before, and I've known what the story's about.
Well, I hated keeping you in the dark, Clint, but I just wasn't at liberty to discuss the story until I had all the facts.
Mm-hmm. Well, now you're back. What's the story?
I'm still not at liberty to discuss it.
With your editor?
Well, I mean, actually...
Vicky, you didn't leave town for any story at all, did you?
Clint, I told you that I...
This is me you're talking to. I can see right through you, Vicky. There never was a story, was there?
You're right, there's no point at all in trying to keep something from you because you know me too well.
Well, now we're getting somewhere. What's really going on?
You guessed right. There was no story. The reason I left town, Clint, was because I had a really awful encounter with Todd Manning.
Oh, then you know.
Yes, I know that he is my half-brother. But I have to tell you, I was completely, totally, thoroughly unprepared for that news. It just caught me so off guard. I mean, the thought that that man, that Todd, who's done so many awful things to hurt so many people, he's my flesh and blood. It's just too much.
Well, why didn't you call me? Or Larry?
Because frankly, I think that you have all wasted plenty of time fretting over me since Sloan died. And I didn't think it was fair of me to worry you all over again.
So I just decided the best thing to do would be to take myself off someplace, sort things out for myself, and come back when I felt better. So I drove to Tidewater.
You could have called me. I'd have understood.
Yes, but you would have worried. And that's exactly what I didn't want you to do. Oh, Clint, I told a little white lie. I mean, it's not so terrible.
Well, I don't know if it's terrible or not. I just know that it's not like you.
What's wrong?
Why don't you tell me?
I told you, Clint, I have been very, very upset about Todd Manning. The children are fine. They're taking it much better than I am. Other than that, I'm the same as I've always been.
No. No, something about you has changed lately.
Oh, don't be silly.
I'm being dead serious. I've noticed it for a while now. Little things in little ways, like the way you dress, the way you're wearing your hair, and now you're keeping the truth from me. I thought we were way beyond that.
I'm sorry. I know. I should not have lied to you, and I won't do it again. I'm so sorry.
I'm not wanting an apology, Vicky. I just want you to realize something. You should never feel that you have to hide anything from me. Never. Besides, no matter how hard you tried, it wouldn't work. Like you just said, I know you too well.
Mother? Mother, it's me. Mother, it's me. She's not here. I knew it wasn't true. I can't even believe I was stupid enough to believe Kelly.
You can't blame yourself for hoping.
Yes, I can, Andrew. I was a fool to think that my mother was coming back.
Dorian, you may be a lot of things, but you're not stupid. Surely you must realize that there's no such thing as me and you.
Just let me explain my plan.
No, don't waste your breath. I don't want anything to do with you or your plan.
But you don't even know what it is yet.
I don't need to know. If it's got anything to do with you, it means trouble for me.
Oh, but my plan helps us both avoid trouble, trust me.
Trust you? Trusting you is what got me here in the first place. You know what? I wish that I had never met you. I wish I'd never heard your name or seen your face. My life has been one disaster after another ever since the moment I agreed to get you out of prison.
What, are you going to blame me for every bad thing that's happened in your life?
Yes, I am! Tina hates me. She never wants to see me again, Dorian. And Vicky, well, she may have dropped the fraud charges, but now the police are all over me about obstructing justice and your murder case. Now, to sum up, my life has been a living hell. I never want to see you again. So the answer to your question is no! I don't trust you. And I don't like you.
For your information, I never asked for your help. You came to me with that fake evidence. And frankly, as much as you loathe me, I feel exactly the same about you. I am willing to put that aside, however, for now. I suggest you do the same thing and listen to my plan.
Okay. Obviously, you are not going to leave until you've had your little say. So why don't you just go ahead, Dorian? You go right ahead and tell me what this brilliant plan of yours is.
All right, it's really very simple. All you have to do is marry me.
Tomorrow, from Main Street to Washington, is America getting nastier? This is Joan London.
And Forrest Sawyer, also an Oscars fashion forecast, and singer Amy Grant on Good Morning America.
Tomorrow, here on ABC.
Sonny plans a birthday bash for Brenda. Don't miss General Hospital next, following an ABC News brief.
Kidnapped by a psychotic killer.
It'll just be the two of us.
Capable of the unspeakable.
Where's my baby?
Guilty of the unthinkable.
I'm beginning to think that he doesn't want to be found.
Ryan's on the edge.
You'll be my little girl forever and ever.
General Hospital, ABC Daytime.